Hello, scholars! Welcome back to Teacher XJ's Map of English. I know it's been forever, basically 3 months, since I last uploaded content onto this channel, and I have a very good reason for that. Well, not just one reason, I think maybe 2 or 3 reasons. Now, as some of you may know, I actually already finished my master's a couple months ago. I think my ceremony was in November last year, and I actually also started a few lecturing jobs here and there in some private universities. And as I'm recording this is actually the first week of my PhD studies. So I actually took up research mode. So hopefully everything will go well and smooth and life goes on and we will all continue to succeed and try out new things and hopefully be engaged in various new challenges and come out on the top. So today's video is going to be a little bit special. I'm not teaching you how to write an essay, and I'm not going to do an essay analysis like I usually do in the past. It's going to be something different. This is more on me trying to teach you how to come up with points for your essay. Okay, so if you do not know, we have basically 3 types of essays. Well, I would say the 3 main types. First one would be what I would like to call a narrative essay. A narrative essay is basically an essay that is about a story. And then we have persuasive essay. Okay, so basically it's about whether you agree or disagree with a topic. Okay, and then you need to give your reasons, okay, your reasonings, any examples as to why you agree or disagree with the topic. And last but not least, we have a factual essay. Okay, and I'm sure all of you must know what is a fact or what are facts. Okay, so that's what the essay is about. Okay, but for today's title, I think I want to focus on a persuasive essay, either on the disagree or the agreeing point. Okay, so let's say if I'm doing the agree part today, our next video is going to be me teaching you how to come up with points for the parts that we disagree with, depending on the essay's topic. Okay, so let me just erase this. All right, so I'm thinking of something to do with technology, our title, because honestly I've not prepared anything. It's just I know that I've not uploaded anything onto YouTube for a really long time, and low-key it has been bothering me because I know that, maybe there are some students who are waiting for me to upload new content, but my schedule has really been hectic, and I'm also, to be honest, trying out a lot of new things, making a lot of adjustments to my life, those things. But anyways, I'm getting off track here, so let's just come back. I am thinking, like I said just now, of doing a persuasive essay today. Then the topic has something to do with technology, and I think the title should be, I want to do this title something along the lines of, does technology, okay, I'm not liking this font because it's too thick. Let me just redo. Okay, does technology bring more harm than good? See, we are making a comparison here, yeah, to students. Okay, so this is a persuasive essay, so we have to pick a side. Okay, so let's take a look at the title first, okay, before we come up with any points and all those things. Let's just do our mini analysis first. Okay, so based on this title, it's quite long, yes, but don't be afraid. Okay, we know for sure that our target audience, okay, who we are writing about, they are students. Okay, so we cannot write about other parties such as adults, I don't know, someone who is in a certain field of work such as nurses or doctors, parents or teachers. Our target audience, basically our main character, students. Okay, so remember that, keep that in mind when you're doing your essay. And technology, okay, technology, as we all know, oh my god, this line is horrendous. Let me just try again. Okay, so under technology, we have a few things that are under it, right? It could be something as basic as TV, our smartphones, okay, our radios, our laptops, our computers. So let me just write it down for you guys. Even our vehicle is also considered as a part of technology. Okay, so whatever inventions mankind has made, it has something to do with technology. Okay, I mean, as long as there's something that's considered as like electronic appliances and stuff. So yeah, basically, tada, here's the definition from Google. Okay, so back to here. We have two sides that we can pick and choose from based on this title. Do we agree that technology brings more harm to the students, or do we think that technology brings more good to the students? Okay, so I'm thinking for this video, we are going to be looking at the harmful effects technology has on students. Okay, so let's say if you agree that technology brings more harm to the students, basically in this entire essay, you have to write the disadvantages, okay, that technology is bringing to the students. However, if you write about the good things, you obviously have to talk about the benefits or the advantages of technology. Okay, so make sure whenever you write, what do you call that, and a very important tip here, okay, so make sure whenever you write a persuasive essay, if you have already picked a side, okay, as in you agree that it brings more harm to students, stick to it for the next 4 paragraphs and for the entire essay. Okay, do not tell me that yes, technology brings more harm to the students. However, it has its pros as well. Do not do that. Okay, do not change your point of view or your perception or whatever halfway. Do not do that. Never do that. Okay, and also please, regarding your language, do not use me, myself, and I think, I believe. No need. Okay, always write in a third person's point of view. And what do I mean by a third person's point of view? Basically, you write things from what I would also call from the God's perspective. Not saying that you're addressing yourself as a God, but it's like everyone, all members of society, a person should do this, these kind of things. Okay, that's what I'm referring to as a third person's point of view. Okay. All right, without further ado, let's dive into the first point that we can talk about regarding this topic. Okay. Oh, but before that, I guess I'll teach that a little bit of introduction, on how to write it. So let's start with the color blue then. Okay, so for introduction, there's a couple of ways that you can write it. I guess the first option, okay, is that you can do a comparison, okay, between how was technology like back then, maybe 5 decades ago, 50 years ago versus now. Okay, so here you can do a comparison, okay, of then versus now. Okay, and then another way you can talk about your introduction, another way that you can write about your introduction is, people's perception. Okay, so if you feel like you want to include both of these points in your essay, feel free to do so. Okay, so people's perceptions, basically their point of views, what are their thoughts about technology, the usage of technology towards students when students are the ones who are using them. Okay, so people's perceptions, especially parents, educators, or even students themselves. Okay, and then we need to have something that is basically like a thesis statement. So it's very important for you to have a thesis statement in your essay. Okay, so just to sum it up for you, a brief explanation of what a thesis statement is basically you stating which side you are on and you having some sort of mini summary of what the entire essay is about. Okay, so your thesis statement has to be aligned with the rest of the content that you are writing for your essay. Okay, so I think in the future, I will produce a video that will explain to you in detail what's a thesis statement, topic, sentence, and all those things. But if you do not want to wait for that and you want to read about it on your own, by all means, please go ahead. Okay, we love a person who does their own reading and research and all those things. All right. Okay, so just a very simple way on how to write introduction. Finally, let's dive into our first point, okay? So since we are talking about the disadvantages, okay, meaning that we agree that technology brings more harm than good to students, okay? So what is the first disadvantage? Now, before we look into this, right, actually, there's another thing I would want you to look at. Okay, so we can sometimes categorize our points into a few categories. Okay, so number one, it could be something to do with our studies, our academics. Okay, another type, it could be referring to our health. May it be a physical health or a mental health. Okay, and another type we can categorize would be skills. Okay, what kind of skills you would gain or you would not gain when you're doing certain activities. Okay, sometimes you can categorize it based on this or even based on the different types of people. Depends. But in this essay, we are categorizing using these 4 things. Okay, academics, physical health, mental health, and skills. All right. So let me change my pen's color once more. I hope I'm not writing it too largely because I'm afraid I will run out of space. Okay, anyways, so the first disadvantage technology has on students, we are saying that it would affect the students' academics. In what way? Okay, so if we say that we can, elaborate points, okay, such as students become addicted to technology, what will happen to them? Okay, they will fall behind in their studies. Okay, so this is like the consequence, okay, the result of what happens when you have no self-control. Okay, so if you notice, right, in most essays, if not even all essays, you are actually raising a point and then you are doing your best to explain to the readers, to the audience, why you said that. Basically, you must be very good at explaining things. Okay, so the first point that we came up is, if the students are addicted to technology, such as their phones, right, we need to be specific a little bit. Okay, they will fall behind in their studies because they're always thinking of playing video games and all those things, or even scrolling through social media, to the point that they are no longer interested to study or perform well in school. Okay, that being said, we can say that, if they are constantly playing video games, they wouldn't concentrate during lessons. Okay, and then ultimately they will fail in their academics. Maybe they will stay a year behind, they will not graduate, they will not get a certain certificate and all those things. Okay, basically, again, this is also about a consequence. All right, so what else? How else is technology going to affect the students, okay, in their studies? So let's say if they're always relying, okay, on softwares, okay, search engines. We can also call them search engines. Search engines would be something like Google, because you need to ENGINES. Okay, I cannot multitask. I cannot speak and write at the same time, although I'm trying my best. Okay, such as Google. Okay, search engines will be Google because you need to type something in and it will literally search and find the answers for you, or even using ChatGPT. Okay, that is a type of software, right? So if they are constantly relying on softwares and search engines to find or provide them the answers of their assignments, okay, in the long run, how are they going to be independent thinkers? Okay, so I'm just going to put like a question mark for independent thinkers. I don't think they will be able to do that. Okay, so what's the consequence here? If they do not have critical thinking skills, because when you're an independent thinker, you are supposed to have a critical thinking skill, right, where you can think on your own 2 feet and come up with solutions. But if you do not have critical thinking skills, it also means you are unable to solve problems, aka you will have no problem solving skills. Okay, if you want to, you can also mention how the technology allows some students, let's say if they were allowed to bring smartphones to school, they could use it to cheat in their exams. And again, there's no critical thinking skills, there's no problem solving skills, and ultimately they will fall behind in their studies and fail. Okay, fall behind their studies and fail. You see, so this is like the ultimate consequence. Okay, so I'm just gonna put a note here saying that students can use the technology to cheat in their tests. But you can go a little bit more specific by listing out quizzes, finals, assignments, presentations, all those things. Okay, so we are done with the academics point. Okay, so it's not necessary for you to include this many points when you're writing your essay, but if you feel that you want to, you can go ahead, no problem, but make sure there is some sort of smooth flow, as we will call it, when you are writing your essay. Okay, all right, so I cannot think of any more points that has something to do with academics, but if there's any, I'll come back and add on to it later. That's the beauty about mind maps, basically. Okay, so of course, my mind map doesn't exactly look like a mind map, but you get what I mean. Okay, we can just add on anything else that we happen to think of later on. Okay, so we are also saying that technology brings more harm to the students in terms of their physical health. Okay, how so? We need to explain all those things. So let us just use a dark green for that. Okay, so here we talk about physical health. Okay, so physical health, to be honest, is quite easy to talk about. We can mention that if the students, they are addicted to their phones, right? So phones is technically a part of the technology, and even their video games. This means they often stay at home, right? And this also means they do not go out to exercise. Okay, and what would be the consequence of this? They would be obese. Okay, they would gain, oh my god, my my handwriting. Okay, they would be obese, they would gain weight. Okay, they might even have diabetes if it's very serious. Okay, even high blood pressure. Okay, I feel like my handwriting is going up and up and up. High blood pressure and all these other things. Okay, so it affects their physical health. But what if the students, they look at their phones in the dark when they are supposed to be sleeping? Okay, they are supposed to be sleeping, but instead of sleeping, they're actually scrolling on their phones, looking at TikTok videos and all those things. Okay, what will happen? Okay, in the dark when they are supposed to be asleep. Okay, so there are two consequences here. Okay, number one, your eyesight, their eyesight, okay, will worsen, okay, and they may need specs and all those things. But here, right, if you want to add on like a piece of news that you read on the internet, like legit, there was a piece of news that I read a couple years ago, I guess, like this child, he or she was constantly reading, okay, whatever social media posts in the middle of the night when they're supposed to be sleeping in the dark. Eventually that child became blind. Okay, so eyesight will worsen, and in serious cases, okay, the person will become blind. Okay, and another part is because they are not sleeping, right? Maybe they should have slept at 11 p.m., but instead of that, they slept at 3 or 4 a.m., but by 6 or 7 a.m., they had to wake up for school. Okay, so they are getting insufficient. Insufficient means not enough, okay, sleep, and this would lead to a loss of concentration when they are in class. Okay, so I'm just gonna write it shortly. That's how technology, we are suggesting on how it will affect the students' physical health, in terms of the disadvantages. Okay, is there anything else I can add on? Okay, so here we are talking about physical health. I think, yeah, for me, that is it. Again, if there's anything I feel like I want to add on, I will come back later. So right now, let's move on to our next paragraph, which is mental health. Okay, so when we say the students, they are always cooped up, okay, like a chicken coop, that's what coop basically means. You're always locking yourself in your room. Okay, if you're constantly cooped up in your room, or in this case their room, okay, if they are constantly cooped up in their rooms, what will happen to them? Okay, some of them, right, I don't really know how to explain it. Okay, I hope I won't offend anyone, but in certain serious cases, the student, okay, actually might develop mental health issues, okay, such as mental health, HEALTH, issues such as depression or anxiety, okay, because maybe they feel like, oh, I'm always at home, I'm never out. I don't dare to go out, but I'm seeing other people living their best life. It will make me even more depressed. Okay, I can't speak on behalf of anyone who has depression because I am very fortunate. I never experienced that, so I hope you don't as well. Okay, and then some will also feel anxiety, especially if they have to leave their rooms to socialize or to talk to others. Okay, so it takes a toll on their mental health for some of them if they are always relying on technology. And some people, they are always texting people, right, through messages. But in real life, they have a lot of difficulty. Okay, in real life, IRL, they have difficulty in communicating or speaking, if you cannot remember, communicating with others properly. Okay, so here I guess you can mention, okay, here we can mention their anxiety level will shoot up. Okay, means they will get super anxious. Anxiety level will shoot up, or you can say will skyrocket. Okay, and also staying cooped up in the room is not a good thing because like, how do we say it? Oh my god, I'm erasing my properly. Okay, PROPERLY. Okay, it does not look nice, but it's okay. Okay, so when it comes to the topic of mental health, make sure you always tread on it carefully. Okay, if you're not really confident talking about it, do not talk about it. It's okay, yeah. Okay, so I feel like I use so many colors really. Okay, so let's try this one. I hope it's not too bright. Hello. Okay, I don't think it's super bright. It should be fine. I like my mind maps to be more colorful, so it's easier to read. Okay, so the fourth one, we were talking about skills. Just now here we talk about communication, having problems communicating with others, right? So sometimes I told you just now, we have to have some sort of flow when we are writing our essays, right? So the flow of this communication, okay, can be brought down to the skills. Okay, we say that, okay, if the student, okay, is always relying texting to the method of texting, or just uploading their thoughts and opinions on their Instagram stories, on their social media posts 24/7, they would have problems communicating with others in real life. Okay, because like you see, when you type a status to post it online, you will double check and think what you want to post, right? But speaking to people in real life, it requires your brain to react on the spot. Okay, so we can mention they would have a less reaction time. Okay, so less reaction time, can say that they wouldn't respond quickly to real life conversations, right? Because messages, they give you time to think on what you want to reply. Okay, you can include that in your explanation. Okay, messages and even social media posts give one time to think of what they want to type or say. Okay, so that is one of the skills that the student wouldn't be able to learn if they're always relying on technology. Okay, so they'll have a less reaction time. We already used up no problem solving skills, so I do not want to touch on that again. What other skills can we include? Okay, so because there's so many skills. I mean, speaking skills is quite obvious. That is under communication, right? Let's see. We can talk about writing skills. Okay, so here we can basically elaborate on how, if we're always relying on technology to provide us the answer, we wouldn't know how to write properly. Okay, maybe it's our spelling. Okay, maybe it's the words that we use, vocabulary. We don't know when we should upgrade, or we do not know how to use certain words. Okay, maybe sometimes even the grammar. Okay, we don't take a look at the grammar rules and all those things. Okay, so if you're having problems with grammar, so here's the link of the video that I have on my channel for you to look through. Okay, just a basic guide on how to master your grammar when it comes to learning English. Okay, so after this video, you can go and click on it and check to see whether you know everything that I have taught in that video. Okay, just double check your own knowledge. Yeah. Okay, skills, there's actually a lot of things you can write about. Okay, so we are saying that, it makes students over reliant. Okay, smartphones, computer, vehicles, TV. How else can it harm the student? Okay. Oh yeah, being able to see is not a skill. By the way, I cannot remember, but last time I literally had a student who told me that seeing is a skill, and we had like a debate, or more like an argument back and forth, with me trying to convince him that seeing is not a skill. Okay, so please be careful. Okay, I just realized one more thing we can talk about. We can say that the students, the skill that they will lose is that they cannot become independent thinkers. Meaning they always have to rely the internet or whatever software to provide them the answers. Okay, cannot become independent thinkers. Over reliance on technology to provide them answers, or even notes. Okay, some like students, they are too lazy to even make their own notes, right? To provide them answers or notes. Okay, so you notice, right? We are always going around and around and around on similar points. Okay, so it's actually not that difficult once you get the hang of it. All right, and let's see. Let me briefly teach you how to write a conclusion for this title. Okay, so conclusion is very easy. Okay, so I'll teach you like a very simple formula. Step 1, basically, step 2 and step 3. Okay, basically you can have some sort of opening. Okay, a brief opening. Okay, and then we summarize our points in the essay. Okay, and our main points, yeah. And then last but not least, we can give some sort of advice, okay, a moral value if you have any, or even a call to action, basically encourage someone to do something. Okay, summarizing our points is very simple because just now we have our 4 points right here: academics, physical health, mental health, and skills, right? So we can mention something along with the title once more. Okay, maybe something along the lines of, even though technology has brought various convenience to mankind, however, students must be aware of the disadvantages that comes along with it if they are not careful. Okay, as technology could affect them in terms of their academics, physical and mental health, as well as obtaining certain skills that will be helpful to them in the future. As technology continues to evolve with the world, one should always remember that however convenient and easy it has made our lives to be, we must always be aware of the disadvantages it comes with. Okay, so last one is like our moral value. Okay, very simple, very easy, okay, for us to write our essay. Okay, so yeah, I'm just gonna end this video right here. So this is how you come up with the points and all those things when it comes to writing your essay. Okay, and also if you're not familiar on how to write introduction, I actually have about 7 steps listed out in this video over here, and you can click and read, or not read, listen to me explain to you the different ways that you can write your introduction. Okay, so I think that will be all for today. If you have any questions or comments, or maybe you learned something new, please leave it down in the comment section below so that I may read. Okay, and if you have any questions, of course, list it out so that I can answer you. And yeah, that will be all today, scholars. Thank you so much for attending today's mini lesson on how to come up with points for your essay, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.